What is good, guys, man? Thank you for tuning back into the channel, man. If you're new, make sure you hit that sub button down below to be notified for every single video that I drop, man. As y'all can see by the title, man, she was born and raised a Jehovah Witness, and she left. The reason for me actually really doing this video because I was actually talking to a female on the phone, and I told her that, you know what I'm saying, I was raised Baptist, and she went from Muslim she went from Baptist to Muslim to now she's studying Jehovah Witnesses and whatnot. And not to knock anybody's religion or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying. I'm just gonna shut up. Let's just get into the video, man. Let's just hear her testimony, man, and I'll talk to y'all at the end. Let's get it, man.
And this is my story on being born and raised as a Jehovah's Witness and why I left. No matter how many times I try to start recording, I always end up stopping, so I'm going to try my best not to do that this time. I just hope this video gets out to either those who are thinking about leaving, those who are thinking about entering, or those who have left and are still looking for, I guess, that validation that you made the right choice. Whether you're in or out, like, the shit is hard. Sorry for my cursing, but it's what I do. Stuff's hard. And yeah, I'll just try my best to get into it. Honestly, what's keeping me right now from telling the story is how triggered it is to tell it. But I do feel it is something that needs to be heard. There's just such a stigma that they put onto their members or even their ex-members who that want to speak up. Even though I don't believe that it is the true religion, they instilled this fear in me from the day that I was born. So even though I don't believe in it, my body is still fighting. What has inspired me to tell it is hearing so many of your stories on here. It's something that mattered 10 years ago, and it's something that's going to matter 10 years from now. I'm doing this for every single version of myself. I've tried to move forward in life with telling myself, you know what, let's just start fresh and let's pretend none of that happened. You know, you can just clean slate, clean book, new chapter. But I do believe, my friend says, silence is violence. And by staying silent, I am protecting no one. Not myself, no one that's trying to get out, no one that's trying to join. I am protecting no one by doing that, other than those who don't want me to tell the story. So, here we go. I was born in South LA. My biological mother had drugs in her system, so she couldn't take care of me at the time. She gave custody of me to a cousin. My cousin was a part of the religion, so she raised me in it. From a very young age, I was going back and forth between, I would say, my Jehovah's Witness family and my worldly family. At such a young age, I was put in between having both worlds almost. Being raised in the religion too makes you feel like the world is separated into two different categories. Everyone else and people who are in your religion. But yeah. Fuck, why is it so hard? I don't know if everyone does it so effortlessly or what, but I am struggling. And I don't know if it's because I'm overthinking it or if I just know what's coming, and I don't know, but I'm trying here, guys. Bear with me. I feel like I need to smoke in order to do this, but if I smoke, I know it's gonna make it worse. Oh, if I had a shot, I would take one. Take one for me. But yeah. My biological mother felt that she was giving me a better life by letting my cousin raise me. She did not believe in the religion herself fully. Partially she did. It was like an on and off thing. When she felt guilty or when something was going wrong in her life, that's when she believed it. As you would notice, that's usually what happens. Mom would drop me off to my biological mother's house. She would tell me, you know, You need to be good because you represent Jehovah, and anything that you do, Jehovah will see it. Even if I can't see it, Jehovah will. And oh God, I just remember being little, like, fuck, I'm already gonna die because if I did something, I believed that I was, Anyways, so yeah, I was going back and forth during the time. I was also during that time I was also getting abused by my brother. That has nothing to really do with being raised as Jehovah's Witness, but I thought I was wrong for the abuse that I had taken on. But yeah, I was 5 during that time, so can you imagine just at 5 thinking I'm already gonna die? I've been thinking I was gonna die since I was 5. Here I am 30. It's mind-blowing. With a lot of stories that are told, most witnesses had a hard time in school, but I think there are those selective few who had a hard time before even getting to school. You had to fight before even going into the world, and I think that's a lot in itself. I already felt different on my own, but when I went into school, it increased that. It intensified that feeling. The usual. I wasn't allowed to celebrate birthdays. I wasn't allowed to do all of that. But honestly, I would like to focus on the aspects of my life that were different from other stories, because that's just your generic stuff. That's everything that we all went through. Unless you were like part of one of those families that allowed you to celebrate holidays, which there are those families that are there's some families that are a little bit more stricter, and there's some who are just in it to say that they're. My life consisted of going to school, going to the meetings, and the occasional family recreation. The family recreation was only with my family or with people from the congregation. We were not allowed to associate with anyone outside of the congregation or our religion because they could ruin our youthful habits. And by youthful habits, it kind of translates into they don't want to ruin they want you to obey without question, basically. When I wasn't in school, I was attending 3 meetings a week. They were all at least to 2 hours. There was one during the week that was only 1 hour, but that was still after school at 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So I wouldn't get home till like 8:30, and I would still have to do my homework and all that kind of stuff. Honestly, these meetings and conventions are the same information, just delivered in different ways. Honestly, it felt like, looking back at it, I always compare it to the scene in Scooby-Doo when they find the brainwashing videos. It's like that. And even now, I'm sure it's worse because they actually they do dramatizations using witnesses. They have them act out these dramatizations, and I'm not even going to get into
the fact that you have to act out to be a Jehovah's Witness is crazy to me. Let's get back into it though.
Now, hold on. Let's just go back. I'm sorry. I'll go back. So, I'm gonna go back just to say all this. I saw life only through one lens, and that was Jehovah's Witnesses. Anything else outside of that was wrong and a part of Satan's world, and also doomed for destruction. So, since I wasn't allowed to have friends at school, my only friends were those in my family and those in my congregation. Unfortunately, that did lead me to have some pretty bad experiences. At the age of 12, I did start getting sexually abused by an older brother in the congregation. He was 23. And then at the age of 14, I was abused by a 19-year-old girl in the congregation. I was disfellowshipped over the abuse. They did not know about the brother. Sorry. But yeah, I was disfellowshipped at the age of 15. My family took it pretty literal. The only person who did talk to me was my mom. But even then, she talked to me, but even in living in the same house, there were days where I didn't even exist. Totally skipped the part that I was in. They ended up putting me in independent studies in 7th grade. So I was already isolated at home every day by myself before the abuse started. But yeah, after that, I was disfellowshipped. My family took it pretty literal. I ended up meeting a guy who I had another sister who at the time who was not in the religion. So we got kind of close, but she wasn't good for me either. Sorry. I ended up meeting a guy. His name is Brandon. He was older than me as well. Think I got issues here, huh? No, but anyway, let's just save that part for let me save that for another story. I ended up getting pregnant at 16. That flipped a switch in me because witnesses are told that our children's lives depend on our standing in the religion or congregation. And when we've been disfellowshipped and now having a baby on the way, I'm like, well, not only if I'm not doing the right thing, my kid is going to die. So as I'm pregnant, I'm
What?
going back to the meetings and all that. I end up getting reinstated. Things were okay for a while, or I let myself believe that they were. My family was talking to me again. I felt good, so I felt like I had some kind of support system at the time. I ended up getting pregnant again with my second son. I had him prematurely on my birthday of 2012. So that was 2 years after I had my first son. I did have him prematurely. A couple weeks after he was born, he was put into a couple weeks after he was born, he did end up getting something called, I believe, necrotizing freshly. I don't want to say it wrong, but it was something wrong with his intestines. They called me at 4 a.m. and told me that he was in need of a blood transfusion and asked if I gave them permission over the phone to go and do it. I had just got reinstated, so I'm sorry, for those who don't know, blood transfusions are a big sin. We are told not to accept blood, give blood in any type of way. It is sacred. So when they called, I paused and my first thought was to tell them no, which I did. I told them no, just I'll be on my way. I remember going into my mother's room and just crying, like, I don't know what to do. And she's just sitting quietly because she doesn't know what to do either. Long story short, I keep denying it. The elders come to the hospital. They try and give me counseling and to tell me, if anything happens to my baby, that, Jehovah will see that as a sacrifice. I physically couldn't get myself to sign over for that blood transfusion, so I did have his dad do it. He ended up passing anyway. They tried to do surgery. The transfusion, nothing helped. I'm crying because I'm upset at myself and being so brainwashed into believing that I'm upset at myself, and uh, honestly, like, that was just the breaking point for me. If after then, it just became more, my eyes just started opening more and more. No, the religion no longer felt like a safe place. My family didn't feel like a safe place. No one offered to pay for the burial or to have no one had a service. No one even announced it at the Kingdom Hall like they usually do. I don't have my son's ashes. I don't have anything of memory of him other than this little box that I made for him. The only person that keeps him alive is me and his father. But yeah, after that, my eyes started opening more. I went to the meeting less. See, this is my problem too. I end up skipping stories, or parts. But I did end up pressing charges on the brother who abused me in the congregation. My family didn't like that. My mom was supportive, but her sisters weren't happy about that, nor were the ones in the congregation. Because when you go forward in court, they consider bringing reproach upon Jehovah's name, which means like bringing a bad name to Jehovah's Witnesses. The girl, sorry, I'm going back and forth. Sorry, guys. I didn't press charges against the girl. I wish I did. Guess I was sexist. I don't know. But, well, they thought it was sexist at least. Like, oh, you're gonna press charges against him, why not her? But yeah. I end up going to the meeting less. My mom starts to try and take the kids, even though I'm not going. And she was still going to the congregation where the girl who abused me went. This girl, mind you, she's in good standing with the congregation, you know, everything's forgiven. But I couldn't go. I tried going to the meetings, even with her there, and I felt like my heart was in my stomach every time. Like, it just felt wrong. I couldn't go. My mom would start to try and take my kids. At some point, I told her, I don't want you taking them. You're exposing them to my abusers. I don't want these teachings on my children. I don't want them to be in a position that I was in. I just started going into protection mode. I started seeing them and I started seeing my little self. And I'm like, no. I wish someone took me out of that. So I took them from it. And honestly, that broke my mom's heart. I remember over the phone, I told her, like, she said, are you telling me not to take them to the meetings, not to read them scriptures, no nothing? I said, that's exactly what I'm telling you. You're not allowed to do it anymore. And I know it broke her heart because she pulled over and said, you're breaking my heart. Because to her, that meant already that we're gonna go. She believed in what she believed in so much that she, in her mind, saw that we were dying. And yeah, eventually eventually I felt like I was getting to some kind of good point with my mom, and like I'm telling her, like, I started showing her videos from YouTube, like, there's so many cases like mine that are getting unnoticed. So many people are getting abused and no one's doing anything about it. I remember she showed her sister and they started calling me an apostate, saying this is an apostate literature. They don't want to watch anything unless it has jw.org at the bottom. That means that has came from them. Like, why would you guys make a video on yourselves about doing sexual assault and put jw.org at the bottom? I don't know. So my family started considering me apostate before I considered myself one, because honestly, I believed in Jehovah. I just didn't believe in the way that they were teaching it. Years passed, and eventually my mom passed in 2018. That was hard in itself because, of course, grief. But the moment my mom passed, my family's hate for me came out. They blamed me for her death. They said that the stress that I put on her from just being me caused her to have a heart attack. They took all of her stuff, her wallet, her phone, everything. The day that my mom passed, after her body was taken to the morgue, I remember going to my family's house thinking that, you know what, they're gonna handle themselves in their Christianly way. They did not. I went inside. My cousin out of nowhere punches me with my face. Everyone has their body on me, trying to hold me back from defending myself. My mom's sister ends up putting her hands like on my jaw like this, grabbing my mouth, pushed me to the ground, and said, "Get out of this house before you kill me too." I'm getting out the house. They literally pushed me out the house. Call me the devil. But yeah. So yeah, that happened with my family. They ended up trying to call and apologize before the memorial service. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I accept it. Oh my God, I'm actually horrible at telling stories. I'm just forgetting so many parts. But my mother raised me, and she had also adopted my little brother after me. When she passed, they took him as well. They would not allow me to see him or my kids to see him. But the memorial service, you guys, the memorial service had nothing to do with who my mother was as a person. It had to do with what they believed in. And looking back at it, if you go to any memorial of a Jehovah's Witness, it's not about them. It's about what they believe in. And they try to use that moment of mourning and grieving to get you to think that you could see this person who's going to go again if you just believe in basically what they believed in. And oh my gosh, that was it for me. I grew up thinking so much love. I don't know. I fantasized my own life, I guess. Even with all that happening, like, I am who I am because I had to, I don't know. Looking at myself, I don't even know how I honestly thought I was cool. And what started me doing this video is I am a creative person. I'm into photography. I make rolling trays. I write. There's a creative person in me dying to come out. I put that part of me on a shelf, and I started doing other things, and it's just like I always end up coming back to myself. And I feel like I can't move forward in my healing journey without telling this story so that people can know, like, it's not, I didn't just get dealt a bad family. I didn't just get dealt a bad congregation. Thousands and thousands of people are being dealt bad families and bad congregations. It's not just me. It's happening now. It's happened already, and it's going to happen. And it's like, sometimes I almost feel terroristic for saying things because, like, growing up, we were taught, like, at some point, we were taught to fear the words peace and security. That the government or the world would try and rid the world of religion, and at that point we would know, like, it's time to panic or something like that. But yeah, I almost feel terroristic because I don't believe religion should even be able to exist, because no matter, I don't know, I believe in spirituality. I believe, let's not get into what I believe. We'll do a separate video on that. But this religion has causes so much pain. And I wish we could stop using the word religion, just call it an organization. It's a business. That's what it is. All that to say, my experience was not good. And I wish the people who were in this religion would ask themselves, we're taught about love. But this love that they teach people is fake because it's a delusion, because fear is at the base of it. We're told that Jehovah will, or God will just end things because he loves us. I'm sorry, but if you're all powerful, you could have hit the reset button at any time, my guy. But I'll probably add more to this later, or just make different videos if you guys have any questions or anything. But I don't know. I guess it's kind of hard to even give messages to people who are still in, because I know what it's like to be in, and I know what it's like to hear others talk against something that I've been taught so long and so hard that is right. So honestly, it's not going to click for you until it clicks for you. But yeah. I just feel like there's so much that I can touch on, because
Well, man, I thought I'd touch topic on this testimony, man. Y'all gotta know, man, that religions are made to separate us from God. You know what I'm saying? And there's only one God at the end of the day. The reason why I wanted to react to this video, because like I said, I was on the phone with a girl that I thought I was interested in, and I'm not bashing her or anything like that. You know, she can still, we talked today on the phone. You know, we still friends or whatever the case may be. But pretty much I just, you know, I said we're definitely not gonna match, because I definitely don't believe in your religion, and you left, and I'm not even, I don't want to say I'm a religious person, bro. Like, I believe in God, and you know, and I believe in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? There is a heaven and a hell. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just now learning about, you know, Jehovah Witnesses and stuff like that. And when she went through, you know, the church is definitely supposed to be about love and fellowship and leading people the right way, not crucifying people for, you know what I'm saying, for being imperfect, or leaving, you know what I'm saying, organization because they realize the truth, or they want to figure out something else. You know what I'm saying? And just the fact that she had people around her, you know, that done her wrong. And when she talk about like born, like you don't get to choose, you know, what family you in, or just born into a family, you know what I'm saying? Yes, it's a lot of people that is out here dealing with that, and it's nothing wrong with cutting off something that's not good for you. You know what I'm saying? So we can't choose what we're born into. You know what I'm saying? But you can definitely navigate around anything that is not meant for you. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay to cut stuff off that's not meant for your life. You know. But anywho, man, y'all comment below what y'all think about her testimony, man. It's definitely emotional. I said I'm not gonna pause it at all. I want y'all to watch this whole reaction, man. Her name is Sammy.mp4 on YouTube. If y'all want to go check out her video. For all my Jehovah Witnesses, if you're an ex-Jehovah Witness, comment down below what y'all think about her reaction, man. You know, her video. At the end of my videos, I always say stay inspired, stay motivated, stay grinding. Until next video, I'm out of here. I'm gonna get some rest for work in the morning. I'm out of here.